So I will start by saying this. I have very, very little knowledge of Cesario. I've only seen a couple of the actual horses races. So I don't know if Pyrex is going to cover the in-game Uma Cesario or the actual horse Cesario. But either way, I'm ready to learn.
Even long after a racehorse's career, their accomplishments act to solidify their presence in the extensive history of the sport. For some, decades and even centuries pass with their names still immortalized in horse racing history. For one Uma, she'd intend to follow this exact path, pursuing a dream that would far outlive her time racing, acting
Ooh, I
as
like
a
her
guiding light to
eyes.
those who would be inspired and follow in her footsteps. A legacy that would not only make history, but will also carry on to future generations to come. This is the story of Cesario, the Japanese superstar.
Oh, I'm ready. Let's
Cesario
learn.
was a mare born on March 31st, 2002 at Northern Farm in Hokkaido. Before we can fully dive into Cesario's history, we need to first refer to her extensive pedigree. As Uma Musume fans,
Oh, so she comes from a line of winners. All right, let's see it.
one name will clearly stand out. In addition to notable names present in her pedigree, such as Alma Mound, Northern Dancer,
There's Northern Dancer. We always hear either Northern Dancer or Sunday Silence or who's another one that we hear all the time? Northern Taste?
Hail to Reason, and Sunday Silence,
Hail to Reason. That's another one too.
Cesario will be sired by Special Week. Special Week, the
Special
main
Week.
character of Uma Musume's first season, would make history, claiming victory at the 1999 Japan Cup against a roster of strong international competitors. Cesario's dam was Kirov Premier, a bay filly from Great Britain. Premier had a fairly good history on turf-based tracks, only adding to the strong pedigree already present from Cesario's sire's side. Cesario's name refers to a character from the Shakespearean play Twelfth Night, in which the lead character, Viola, must adopt the identity of a man for an extended period of time, using the alias Cesario. This would also
Oh, look at that. That's a nice lore drop.
be personified in Uma Musume, where Cesario presents two versions of herself. Her seriousness while training and racing are depicted as a more masculine tone, while her relaxed side is displayed as being more feminine. This isn't an instance like Still in Love, with two completely different personalities.
Still in love. We love Still in Love. Look at her eyes. So beautiful.
But instead, as the game describes, is treated as something more along the lines of an on and off switch. Cesario is aware of when she needs to be more serious or relax in certain scenarios, with her lax side emerging most when she's with the trainer. Speaking of relaxing, when I'm not making these videos, I normally enjoy taking a break by playing various games that test my tactical capabilities and patience.
Hey, that's what I do too when I'm not reacting. I just play video games.
And that leads into today's sponsor, Etheria Restart.
Oh man, this guy's getting a sponsor? Nice. Congrats to him. He definitely earned it and deserves it.
Etheria Restart is a brand new strategy RPG.
Skip? You guys want to skip the ad? Skip the ads? Okay. Just remember, to those that are interested into Reborn to Fight, this is the download link for Pyrrhix. If anyone wants to support it, I just want to link this since I'm going to skip his ad. And now we can skip the ad now since you guys asked me to skip it. But yeah, make sure to support Pyrrhix, everyone.
Despite being born at the Northern Farm, ownership of Cesario would soon be passed on to a collective of horse racing owners and trainers known as the Carrot Farm. This acquisition of Cesario would bring her directly into contact with Katsuhiko Sumi, who would act as her trainer for the duration of her career that followed. Katsuhiko, compared to other trainers we've covered in past videos, was a relatively new trainer, acquiring his certification in the year 2000, and officially becoming a trainer the next year. Prior to establishing his own stable, Katsuhiko was an
Man,
assistant
That man's dual wielding trophies. Look at that.
trainer who had joined the JRA in 1986. Despite only recently becoming a trainer in the last few years, Katsuhiko quickly became a notable name at the Rito Training Center. Unsurprisingly, due to Cesario's monstrous pedigree, expectations were high for her to perform in her racing career that followed. Cesario's trainer had originally planned for her to make her debut in the summer. However, early on in her career, she developed a sudden presence of ligamentitis.
Oh wow, that's an unfortunate start. already having, I'm assuming, leg issues because it's the ligaments, so I would assume it was in her leg.
Instead of pressing onward, it was decided to have Cesario remain at the stable to undergo treatment in order to prevent any further complications.
You see, that's smart. They made sure to have her fully rest and fully heal before even attempting to race her. So very, very good on the owners and the trainers and everyone involved to prioritize the health of the horse.
After resting for several months, Cesario was scheduled to race in the 2-year-old newcomer race, which would be held on December 25, 2004. Cesario will be paired with Yuichi Fukunaga, the jockey who would be Cesario's main rider for all but one race. Yuichi is the son of Yoichi Fukunaga, a jockey whom many regarded as a genius on the racecourse. Yoichi would claim his first G1 victory in 1971, and by 1978, he'd secure 131 total victories in his career.
131 total victories? What a legend!
In 1979, Yoichi would suffer an injury after falling off of Mary Joy in the Mainichi Cup on March 4th.
Oh man, that's so unfortunate.
He was rushed to the hospital, and though made a full recovery, he decided to retire in 1981. With big shoes to
Yeah,
fill,
I mean, understandable. If you're injured, you don't want to push yourself too hard.
it was time for Yuichi to follow in his father's footsteps. To no one's surprise, Cesario was amongst the top 2 fan favorites to win her debut. Cesario would pull ahead of her competitors in the final homestretch, claiming her first victory on the track despite a rough start to her 2-year-old year. Cesario will win this race by 1.5 lengths over the second place recipient Dansu Queen.
Nice! She won her debut race.
After completing their first race together, Fukunaga recounted that Cesario was a natural running horse. She was incredibly comfortable to ride, and he had faced no issues alongside her with this victory debut. With this, Cesario would end her first year of racing undefeated, preparing for her greatest
Very
challenge to
nice.
come in her 3-year-old year. Not even a month after her debut, Cesario will compete in the Oka Sho, an ungraded race which would take place on January 5, 2005. Cesario will be the 4th fan favorite to win this race, with the number 1 slot belonging to Admire Fuji. Fuji was a descendant
Oh, another of the admires, huh?
of Admire Vega, only adding to boost the horse's reputation. On top of that, for this race, Fuji would be jockeyed by Yutaka Take. As the race began, Cesario would quickly advance near the front of the pack, chasing down the current 3rd place position. Maintaining her pace, Cesario would advance once more in the final leg of the race, closing the wide distance that was formed between her and Admire Fuji. Pushing ahead of Fuji, Cesario would ultimately claim victory with the neck over the fan favorite. Being a race of a longer distance, winning the Oka Sho would only raise the expectations for Cesario when the time came for her to compete in the Triple Tiara. There was a lot of time between then and that point, and seeing this opportunity, once more, Cesario would be allowed to rest for a short period between January 10th and March 18th, 2005.
I really do like her eyes, though. They really pop.
On March 19th, Cesario will compete in her first state-graded race, the GG Press High Flower Cup. Cesario was an overwhelming fan favorite to win her first graded race, sitting at a 1-4 odds. Unlike her previous races, there was a lot on the line when competing at the Flower Cup. With intent to compete in the Triple Tiara races in the coming months, this would be Cesario's gateway to facing serious competition on the track.
Oh, so this is the race to prove herself. She's been doing really well so far, but this is the one that's, I guess, worth all the bacon, huh?
Just like before, Cesario would hang near the front of the pack for this race as well, leading the race in 2nd and 3rd place. As the contenders approach the final homestretch, Cesario once more would display a monstrous strength in her final spurt. Closing the gap rapidly, she'd easily pass the leading horse, Slew Rate, and distance this horse by several lengths, claiming her 3rd victory at the Flower Cup by 2.5 lengths
Look
over
at
Slew
that
Rate.
go.
Not only has she remained undefeated, but Cesario continued to display these strong capabilities backed by her extensive pedigree.
I was about to say, so far, undefeated, winning every single race that she's been up against. Some a little narrow, but still managing to win. Such a strong mare.
Both Cesario and Fukunaga had been together since her debut, and a clear bond had been formed from each victory they seized together. A sudden roadblock would form for Cesario on April 10, 2005.
Uh-oh, are they about to have their first loss? Is she about to lose? No, you can do it, Cesario, win!
As she entered the gate for the first leg of the Triple Tiara, the Oka Sho. Fukunaga had not only jockeyed Cesario in 2004 and 2005, but also was a main jockey for Rhinecraft, one of 3 horses who would be Cesario's main rivals.
Oh, I remember watching a few races of Rhinecraft.
Fukunaga had ridden Rhinecraft in the 2004 Fantasy Stakes and the Phillies Review in 2005. Due to his history with Rhinecraft, Fukunaga was set to be the designated jockey for the Oka Sho, a prior obligation that Fukunaga had to uphold. It is not uncommon in Japanese horse racing for a jockey to have multiple horses he rides during a specific season. If said jockey is the stable's primary pick or dedicated jockey for a certain horse, they must uphold that title.
I was gonna say he cheated on her, but if he was obligated because of his, I guess, contract, it's understandable.
Due to this, Cesario would be jockeyed by Minoru Yoshida. Yoshida notably jockeyed Tokai Pulsar, a descendant of Tokai Teo in 2002. Despite the sudden change in jockeys, Cesario was still the fan favorite to win this race, with Rhinecraft being the second pick overall. Alongside Rhinecraft stood 2 others who would be seen as fierce competitors to race against Cesario. These would be Daring Heart and Air Messiah. These 3 horses are depicted in Uma Musume as Cesario's main rivals.
Makes sense. I'm committing these to memory. I will take that quiz again once I learn more of the horses, and I will do better than last time.
And the main thing standing between her and the Triple Tiara. Cesario would start the race and slowly settle mid-pack for a majority of the race that followed. Unlike her previous races, she wasn't leading straight out of the gate. Passing the final corner in 10th place, Cesario would chase after Rhinecraft, displaying the fastest acceleration time of any other horse. Despite Cesario's strong acceleration and her ability to catch up to Rhinecraft, she'd ultimately lose by a head, both to her rival and her main jockey.
By a head, undefeated for so long, and then barely lost by a head. So close, so close.
Following this race, Yoshida would later admit that his positioning when riding Cesario was entirely off, and that he wasn't able to get into the flow of the race at the Oka Sho. He blamed the loss on his inability to properly pace and position Cesario, and commanding her to spurt far too late in the race. Despite the unfortunate...
respect to him for acknowledging it was just his unfamiliarity riding Cesario that cost that win, but she still did really, really well to get second place.
Circumstances which led to her first loss. Cesario would find herself reunited with Fukunaga from this point onward, and her trajectory for her legacy would take a sharp shift from here. Losing the Oka Sho, the ability to become a Triple Tiara winner was now out of reach. Just like the classic Triple Crown, a filly can only participate in the Oka Sho, Japanese Oaks, also known as a Yushin Himba, and Shuka Sho in their 3-year-old year. In Uma Musume, this is Cesario's dream, to be a Triple Tiara winner and cement herself in history, aiding to train other young and aspiring Umas who follow in her footsteps. Cesario truly feels that with such a strong reputation, she will be able to act as a guiding light for generations that'll come long after her. Uma Musume's version of Cesario also comes from a family of trainers and racers, only acting to motivate her drive to achieve her dream further. Not only will she be remembered, but by extension, her parents as well for raising such an outstanding Uma Musume like herself. Ironically enough, following in Special Week's footsteps, Cesario wouldn't leave her mark by winning the tiara, but by doing something much greater. On
Something greater than the Triple Tiara? Interesting.
May 22, 2005, Cesario participated in the Japanese Oaks, the second leg of the Triple Tiara series. Unlike the Oka Sho, the stage was set for Cesario to be a top contender to win this race. Her main rival, Rhinecraft, as per her owner's decisions, withdrew from the Japanese Oaks due to the distance of the race. The Oka Sho was a 1600-meter race, and all of Kraft's previous races would range from 1400 to 1600 meters.
Like vodka winning the Japanese Derby? Oh, is that their goal? Ooh, let's see if they were able to achieve it.
The 2400-meter distance of the Japanese Oaks led her owners to instead register Rhinecraft for the NHK Mile Cup, which would be held on May 8, 2005. This allowed Fukunaga to both fulfill his obligation to Rhinecraft while still being able to jockey Cesario at the Oaks. Unlike Rhinecraft, Cesario's pedigree made her a top contender to win this race. Even with the absence of Rhinecraft, Cesario still needed to beat Air Messiah to claim victory. As the race began, Cesario found herself at the back of the pack, being third from dead last at the start of the race. Unsurprisingly, being a fan favorite to win, Cesario was quickly marked and many competitors acted to advance and block her as the race continued.
They tried to box her in? Wow. How dare they?
There was an opening from the far outside, and seeing no other option, Fukunaga commanded Cesario to advance near the final corner. Down the final straight, just like with the Oka Sho, Cesario would display a monstrous spurt, advancing from 12th place all the way to the front of the pack.
From 12th to 1st?
Contesting Air Messiah and Aishin Tender, Cesario would break away and squeeze a victory at the Japanese Oaks.
Wow.
This would not only be a monumental accomplishment, with the Oaks being Cesario's first G1 victory.
They were trying to box her in, and she just managed to slip on through, and not only slip on through, but win? The power.
But also because it would be the first time an offspring of Special Week would secure a G1 win. Cesario quickly became a rising star in Japanese horse racing, and seeing the prospect to display her capabilities, Cesario's owners would plan to have her compete on a global scale. Carrot Farm, after the victory at the Japanese Oaks, decided to register Cesario to compete in the American Oaks.
Oh, she's gonna go overseas.
At this time, Japan wanted to continue expanding their international influence, showing the world that horses bred and trained in Japan could be fierce competitors against the most elite horses worldwide. In 2004, another attempt was made to have Japan seize victory at the American Oaks. However, the horse participating, Dance in the Mood, would place second overall. Though this was a crushing defeat and a very close chance for Japan to have claimed victory, it would serve as a stepping stone to pave the way for Cesario. Information was gathered from the staff of Kazuo Fujisawa.
Ooh, is she gonna win overseas? I don't know. She inherited Special Week's spreading ability. Her acceleration was fantastic. Yeah, definitely. Super impressive.
Dancer's trainer. Japan was serious on making a statement on a global scale, and through previous defeats, their intent was set to do as much as they could to ensure a Japanese victory.
Let's go.
Initially, Cesario was set to race alongside Dia de la Novia, the horse who would place third at the Japanese Oaks. Cesario and Dia were very close, so hopes were high that the transit to America and the training that followed would go smoothly. Sadly, before both horses were set to depart, a fracture was discovered on Dia, causing her to pull from the American expedition. This left Cesario to travel solo, and surprisingly, she behaved very well during the trip to America and the brief quarantine that followed. Arriving at the end of June, Cesario was given the opportunity to acclimate herself to unfamiliar surroundings. Cesario's arrival and training garnered a lot of attention from the Japanese media. Several photographers and reporters had also ventured to the States in order to potentially cover a historical race should Cesario come out on top. The American Oaks would pit Cesario against the strongest group of horses that she'd ever faced in her career. The leading American horse was Melhor Ainda, an undefeated turf mare who would be nicknamed Super Filly.
Oh, an undefeated mare was in this one, huh? Let's go, Cesario.
Alongside Ainda was 3 Degrees, who had set a victory in a previous G2 graded race. On July 3rd, 2005, Cesario entered the racecourse with the entirety of Japan waiting to see her performance.
That must have been a nightmare getting over to the States during the slow recovering process from the pandemic. Yeah. Because I believe they said that they had to sit in quarantine for a while before they were even allowed to go out and do things. So that definitely must have been extremely difficult to manage at the time. Respect, though, for them being able to get it done and possibly win. I guess we're about to find out.
Despite the odds being stacked against her, the Japanese people held hope that Cesario could bring Japan their first G1 victory on American soil.
I believe.
As the race began, Cesario exited the gate smoothly. Much like the early races of her career, Cesario was able to navigate to the front of the pack, hanging in third place following the first corner. After the third corner, Cesario took the lead, once more displaying a strong spurt as they entered the final homestretch.
Let's see.
The interesting thing about this race is the fact that Cesario wasn't going to win by a head, not by a nose or by mere centimeters. This time, Cesario would break away fully, and as the world watched her, she would make history.
That's what I mean, Melora.
Oh, baby, here we go. Let's see it.
Is 8 lengths from the Japanese
8 lengths.
superstar Cesario. Cesario
Look
passed
at
stretch.
that.
She's running them off
Look
their
at
feet. 5
that.
lengths in front of Single East. Melora Ayinda
Wow.
might get into second.
Wow.
No way does she catch the winner.
Holy
Cesario.
moly.
Cesario wins
That was
the fourth
amazing.
American Oaks.
That was amazing. Complete Japanese domination. Yeah, that was impressive. Not only that, she knocked out that undefeated horse too. Oh, that was so good. Her nickname, Japan Superstar, is also used in Uma Musume, but this race commentary is where it originated, meaning it's American in origin. Oh, because he just said it, Japan Superstar.
Laura Ayinda is 8 lengths from the Japanese superstar
Japanese Superstar.
Cesario.
Cesario.
Cesario past mid-stretch. She's running them off their feet. 5 lengths
Oh,
in front
good.
of Single
Look
East.
at
Melora
that.
Ayinda might get into second, but no way does she catch
Wow.
the winner. Cesario. Cesario wins
Amazing.
the 4th American Oaks. Melora Ayinda solidly defeated in second. Single East third, and Pedigree finished 4th.
Domo arigato, Cesario takes the 4th running of the American Oaks, and for the first time since 1959,
1959 was the last time a Japanese racer won. Wow, I didn't know she had beaten that record.
a Japanese horse comes to the United States and wins a stakes race. And not just
Wow.
any stakes race, the Grade 1 American Oaks.
Cesario had not only broken away from the pack, but she'd won the race by 4 lengths over Ainda, setting a record time of 1 minute and 59 seconds. Cesario hadn't left her mark on the racing world by winning the Triple Tiara in Japan, but instead, she had done something even greater. She had brought home the first G1 victory on American soil, something that hadn't been done
Wow, that's cool.
in the last 50 years of
50 years.
Japanese attempts. Her dreams had been realized, and through this race, as commentators had announced, she had been deemed as Japan's superstar racehorse. Many American fans initially disregarded Cesario due to her running off at full speed in the pre-race prior to the American Oaks. Though this was normal in Japanese racing, it wasn't seen too often in America. To many, it seemed like Cesario
They didn't know her technique. They didn't know her style. And look at that, because they doubted, Cesario came and smacked them all and said, "My win, yoink."
would just be fast out of the gate, and eventually be passed up as the race continued. However, as shown in this historic victory, that wouldn't be the case. One attendee of the American Oaks stated the following when recounting Cesario's victory. No one had ever seen a Japanese horse who looked like her. She was a magnificent specimen, just a powerhouse of a horse who seemed to dwarf her opponents.
Yeah, no kidding, a powerhouse.
I've never seen a horse run off that fast and for that long. I immediately tossed her as I would any horse who ran off like that. But when she blew by the leaders and coasted home to win by 4 lengths, I was convinced. We were looking at something special, and this changed my perspective of Japanese horses competing in America. Unsurprisingly, this victory led Cesario to be named as the best 3-year-old mare in the year 2005. And with this
Understandable.
international victory, plans were quickly made to have Cesario continue her dominant chain in future races around the world. The original plan was to have her race in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. However, past injury came back to dismantle that plan.
Oh no, the injury came back. I'm assuming the one at the start of her career.
After returning to Japan, once more, Cesario was diagnosed with ligamentitis. Due to this, Cesario's plans to race were cancelled, and she was allowed to take a long rest at Northern Farm. In the months that followed, the prospect was there to have her race again. She was showing promising progress in recovery, so plans were made to have her race in the Victoria Mile and Asia Mile Challengers in Hong Kong. The Asia Challenge is a series of races held throughout the first half of the year. Needless to say, Cesario had a lot of races to prepare for. During the process of conditioning Cesario for these races, her condition
So they're going to keep her racing overseas since she seemed to have success with it. Very interesting.
sharply worsened. Instead of pushing Cesario to race internationally, like we've seen many horses do in past videos, Cesario's trainer and handler would instead decide to allow Cesario to retire. This not only left a lot of Japanese fans devastated at the sudden retirement, but also made a lot of American fans wonder how far Cesario would have gone.
Yeah, I wonder how far Cesario would have gone, because she definitely was a powerhouse, 100%.
To many American viewers who had witnessed the Oaks' victory, Cesario was just getting started, and had so much potential to show her strength in future international races. Cesario's retirement not only prevented further injury for the filly, but also allowed her final race to be a historic victory, ending her career at the American Oaks. In retirement, Cesario became a broodmare, producing 12 total foals. One of the most notable of Cesario's offspring would be Epiphanea.
Another what if? Yeah, another what if. But yeah, a much less sad one. Very true.
A Japan Cup and Oka Sho winner, who will go on to sire Daring Tack, a mare who would claim the Triple Tiara undefeated in 2020.
Oh, we barely seen a video about Daring Tack not too long ago. You see, that's what I love so much about watching more and more of these videos and learning more and more about the horses. It's like there's a huge puzzle in front of me. And every time I learn about a new horse, I pick up a puzzle piece and I find where it fits into the puzzle. And slowly over time, the puzzle is starting to form into the picture and I can see the things that the puzzle is creating.
Sadly, during her 13th pregnancy, on February 27, 2021, Cesario would pass away from a ruptured uterine artery.
Oh, damn. That's rough.
At the time of passing, Cesario was 18 years old.
Oh, she was young too. 18?
Due to the sheer amount of successful offspring she produced, Cesario was a renowned broodmare in the time of her retirement, carrying on her legacy to future generations to come. In Uma Musume, this is personified by Cesario's dream of inspiring other Umas through her accomplishments, and teaching them all she knew about the world of racing. Cesario would not only make history herself, but would also start a new generation that would cement their presence in the racing world.
Oh, look at her. So happy. How adorable.
A racehorse whose original dream was shattered, but through the ashes would strive to achieve something much greater, bringing a historic victory that Japan will never forget. This was the story of Cesario,
Oh, that was
the
good.
Japanese superstar whose light shined brighter than anyone else, personified in Uma Musume as an Uma with a clear goal and the determination to leave her mark in this world.
You see, I didn't know much about Cesario before watching this, but now I've learned a lot and I enjoyed it very much.
Did you enjoy this video?
Yes, I
And
did.
who should I cover next? Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you all for joining me, and as always, I will see you all in the next video.
That was great. Let's drop a like, and we are already subscribed, but that was great. That was really, really good.